Welcome back to Mr. Mark's Life Science. This is Lesson 3, Part 2, and where we are covering Chapter 12, Section 3, the questions and answers. We're going to choose the correct word to complete the sentences, and these are the words: ovary, petal, phloem, pistil, pollen, pollination, sepal, stamen, or xylem. Number 1, big A. Blank contains the male gametophyte of seed plants. And if you're not sure, you could look that up on page 308. Hopefully you still have your handout with you. The pages there are numbered. And the correct answer is pollen. Pollen contains the male gametophyte of seed plants. And number 1, big B, blank happens when pollen is transferred from male structures to female structures. And again, you can find this answer on page 311. Or you can look at the question carefully, talking about pollen and what happens when that's transferred to the female structure, and it's a related word: pollination. Pollination happens when pollen is transferred from male structures to female structures. Number 2, one advantage of seed plants is: A, seed plants grow in few places. C, they need water for fertilization. B, they can begin photosynthesis as soon as they begin to grow. Or E, young plants are nourished by food stored in the seed. And you can find the answer to this on page 309 if you don't remember, or you want to confirm the answer you chose. And remember, seed plants contain their own food so that the seed can sprout into a plant. So the answer is E. Young plants are nourished by food stored in the seed. Number 3, the gametophytes of seed plants. A, live independently of the sporophytes. B, are very large. C, are protected by the reproductive structures of the sporophyte. Or D, none of the above. And you can find the answer for this on page 308, or confirm the answer you chose. And the answer is C. They are protected in the reproductive structures of the sporophyte. Number 4, seeds are made up of 3 parts. A, young plant, stored food, seed coat. B, old plant, store-bought food, sad coat. E, young plant, story food, seed coat. Or C, your plant, stared food, speed coat. You could find the answer to this on 309. But also, if you read the questions carefully, I actually only gave one good answer. It's not going to be an old plant, or store-bought food, or a sad coat. It's not going to be story food in E, maybe a young plant in a seed coat. C, your plant? No. Stared food doesn't even make any sense. Speed coat? I don't know what that would be. But I do know the answer is A. Seeds are made up of 3 parts: young plant, stored food, and seed coat. Number 5. big A. There are 4 types of gymnosperms. Match the following: A, B, C, and D, conifers, cycads, ginkgo, and neophytes. Match those to 1, 2, 3, and 4. Shrubs, dry areas. Only one species, seed and fleshy coats. Tropics, and evergreens. And this is nicely illustrated on page 310, where they show those 4 types of gymnosperms and list some information about them. So A, conifers, is 4 evergreens. B, cycads, is 3 tropics. C, ginkgo, there's only one species, seeds and fleshy coats, number 2, which means neophytes are 1, shrubs, dry areas. Number 5, big B, the largest and most economically important are A, conifers, B, cycads, C, ginkgo, or D, neophytes. And you can find the answer for that on page 310. And the answer is A, conifers. Turning the page over, we come to number 6. Big A, blank, do not have flowers or fruits. Instead, they have cones. Would that be, pardon me, A, angiosperms, B, angloperms, C, gymnasts, or D, gymnosperms? And you can find the answer for that on page 310. And I think we were just talking about them. Gymnosperms do not have flowers or fruits. They usually have cones. 6, big B, blank, do not have flowers or, blank, do have flowers or fruits. And you can find the answer to this on page 312, or you can probably guess, because it's just the opposite of big A. Would that be angiosperms, angloperms, gymnasts, or gymnosperms? I made up the angloperms. We already used gymnosperms. And so the obvious answer is actually A, angiosperms. Number 7. More than 265,000 species of plants have been discovered. Approximately 235,000 of those species are angiosperms. What percentage of plants are not angiosperms? And would we get that by subtracting 265,000 from 235,000, or adding blank plus 30,000 times 100, or blank minus 15,000 divided by 100 equals percent, or I left a step out. Oh, that's because it's a big A and a big B. I missed that. We are going to subtract 265,000 from 235,000. So get your calculator out. Or you might be able to do that in your head. I don't worry about all the numbers. I just look at the 35 and the 65 and subtract those. And I get 30,000. So we have 30,000 plus 30,000 times 100. Are we doing minus? Are we doing times? Or are we dividing? And the answer is we're dividing. So it's 30,000 divided by 265,000. And to get the percentage, you go times 100. That's a lot of numbers to put in. But in the end, you should have 11.3%. 11% would be close enough. But if you get the numbers in right, it should come out to 11.3. And last but not least, oh, definitely not last, because there's a 9 there, but number 8 is A, big A. Why did I do that? Don't need that. But flowers have adapted 2 ways to help them reproduce. A, attract pollinators and wind. B, find pollinators under rocks and in trees. D, attract pollinators and rain. Or C, find polluters under rocks and in trees. And you could find the answer to that on page 312. But if you look at the answers carefully, you can probably guess the right answer because 3 of them are kind of silly. They probably won't be finding anything under rocks and trees because flowers don't look around for stuff. And I don't know what a pollinator is. I made that up. So the answer is A. They attract pollinators. And the wind also helps spread pollen so they can reproduce. Number 9, last now but not least, an angiosperm deep in a rainforest might get its seeds carried throughout the forest. A, by having nasty fruit for herbivores to eat, by having expensive fruit for herbivores to eat, by having tasty fruit for herbivores to eat, or by having hard fruit for herbivores to eat. And you can also find the answer to this on page 312. But again, if you're paying attention while you're reading the potential answers, only one really makes sense. Just ask yourself, would you want to eat nasty fruit? You might want to eat expensive fruit, but trees don't really have money for that. Would you prefer hard fruit over tasty fruit? Yeah. C. The answer is C. Tasty fruit that herbivores like to eat. All right, that's it for question and answers. Now you get to watch. Remember to watch horsetails and ferns. Type that in on Google or whatever search engine you're using, and it should come up on YouTube, Horsetails and Ferns. It's only a few minutes long. It's interesting. Take some notes, 7 to 10 notes. So good luck with that, and we'll see you again next time. Bye-bye.